Hey, this is Hawk Mikado, the Funnel Genius here at Funneltopia. Today we're going to be going through how to connect your Facebook profile and your Facebook ads manager so that way you can properly track it. We're actually going to build an ad, a demo ad, in Facebook so that way you can see some of the behind the scenes of what you need to be doing to make sure that you can track your ads properly. So the very first thing we're going to come in and do is you're going to go to, or come back, you go to settings, go to integrations, and then we'll connect it. I'm going to show you the other way to do this as well, because this is actually what is important. So we're going to come to reports, we come to Facebook ads right here, and this is what we're looking to get. We're looking to have really good, clear data on what our ads are actually doing. So we're going to click here, which will bring us to that same settings place that we were at before. We come over to the integrate Facebook, and we're going to connect this right here. It's loading data, give it a moment, and we're going to use, which one are we going to use? Let's use Luna Mikado, which also has an Instagram page. Actually, oh, this is my page. Duh. So I want to use the Millionaire Mind. Here we go, Millionaire Mindset Training. It's a little random page I created a long time ago, and it does not have an Instagram on it, which is okay. Then we're going to come in here. This is where we want to click the ads. And we're going to click Funnel Mag US because I know that these two pages are connected in that same ads manager. So when I'm over here in this ads manager, I can see my page and I know my ad account right here is connected. So I can then, of course, assign people or partners, whatever the case may be. And we need to make sure we have a pixel. So I'm going to create a new pixel just for the purposes of this. So demo pixel. There we go. We've got that. We'll be creating a domain here as well. So we're going to connect an asset. We're going to assign this. You got to make sure that your account is assigned to your pixel, which is now called a data set, by the way. Same thing, pixel, data set, same exact thing. All right, so both of those things are set and are in here properly. We then want to come into the how did I get here? That's probably another good question. So my favorite way to come here is go to business.facebook.com/settings. If you do not have a profile or you don't have the profile you want, you can click this button to create the profile, follow the directions to go there. I can't do that. I have too many businesses in here, as you can see. And then you're going to select the profile that you want to go into. So in this case, I'm going to click this one, and it should automatically populate my ad accounts and everything in them. All right, and here we go. That's where I was at. We're at data sets, and we've connected the page, which is great. We're going to open the events manager, and this is going to allow us to then connect our page and our profile up together properly. Our profile in here. So first thing we want to do is we've built a system for all Funneltopia users. If you're using a similar system, you may not have this exact process in place, but I'll show you kind of the behind the scenes of this. So Meta, we have a Meta Pixel and a Meta API. So Pixel in this case is now called dataset. That is this ID right here. I'm going to copy that, come over to the pixel, edit this, and paste that in. Update that, great. Next thing we want to do is come into, again, we're still in event manager, in the events manager. So under data sets in the pixel that we want, then you click this events manager thing. We go to settings, and you're going to scroll down to this little link that's kind of small. You're going to hit generate access token. You're going to click that. It's going to populate. Give it a few minutes. Give it a few seconds. There we go. We are going to come back over to Funneltopia. Again, we are in the settings under custom values. I typed the word meta in here. And now under the API, I'm going to paste the value that I just copied. Now, just to note, one of the reasons why I created a demo pixel to demonstrate this is this allows people to send and receive information. I believe mostly just send information to Facebook. But you don't really want this public. So, after the fact, I will be deleting this. So, just keep that in mind. If you ever share anything like this, this right here is a very sacred key. You do not want to be sharing this out with anybody. All right. So where is this used? You might be asking. So we're going to come back in. We're going to go to workflows. Now, this isn't something you can actually edit as a user. This is something that is simply set up in here. You can use this. You can manage it with this, but I'm going to show you this. So right now what we have is lead generation. So anytime a lead is generated in any way, shape, or form, it is going to send over the data over to Facebook, and it's going to provide this meta pixel information. So it provides that token and the pixel ID. And in this case, it's saying, hey, we want to give Facebook a lead. We want to basically say this is a lead to Facebook. The same thing happens when somebody adds to cart, so abandons cart, schedules a call. All right, so this is schedule. This is the add to cart, and then this is the purchase conversion. You can add this into any workflow. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if you're going to add this into a workflow, make sure that you're only adding the right ones in. And another thing to keep in mind is that our purchase conversion allows for a 1 hour timer before it's going to show up in Facebook. So just keep that in mind as well. It's going to take 1 hour to show up in Facebook to allow for all of your purchases to accumulate together. So it's only sending one purchase over instead of sending over a multitude of purchases. If you do want this to send over a multitude of purchases and you're a client of ours, you can always just reach out and say, hey, I want it to send every single time that somebody makes a purchase. Most of our clients who run a massive amount of traffic actually find that it's better to send one conversion over instead of sending a bunch of conversions over to Facebook, since Facebook really doesn't like that. All right, so that's where this information is used and what's going to happen when a lead, an add to cart, an appointment, or a purchase actually happens. So the thing that we want to make sure that we have is proper reporting. So we come back in here, again, reports, Facebook ads. Now, there's not going to be any ads in here right now. We are going to come over to the ad account. The ad account we want, open the ads manager. I don't actually know that we've ever, oh yeah, okay. We have run ads from this account long ago, or maybe we were just testing some stuff from what it looks like. But what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to create a campaign. I'm going to actually create a couple different kinds of campaigns today so that you can see how they are going to work. Now, I want you to keep something in mind. Traffic, a lot of people select this by accident. They select traffic. What this means is that that Facebook is going to optimize for, all right, I'm going to click this so that it stays static here. It optimizes for link clicks, right? So this is to get people to click the link to your website, app, or Facebook event. This is actually to not just click, but actually visit the page and land on it, and what would be considered a land, which is a 3-second, like they stay there for 3 seconds. This is, and actually might be less, engage with your conversations. So that could be really good for the right, if you're having people do a messenger, like a DM strategy, that could be really good. And for calls. For the most part, when people are doing these, they're like, oh, I want to drive as much traffic as humanly possible to my website. But I want you to think about this for a moment. If you've ever been playing a game on Facebook or any of the ad networks that are associated with Facebook, and you watch the ad or you have to click on the ad or whatever the thing is, that's they're getting paid for you to click on the ad, right? You get a point for clicking the ad, or some of those ads, they're impossible to get to go away unless you click them, which is really annoying, right? So I want you to really think about when you're using this. The only time you want to use link clicks is if you're looking at creating what I would consider inflated numbers for the purposes of showing how much traffic you have, but realize your conversions are going to be dismal. So generally speaking, we never, ever, ever use traffic, with the exception of DM campaigns and the occasional call campaign. Now you have awareness and engagement. Now both of these kind of go hand in hand. Awareness is really just the visibility. This is purely about visibility, where engagement is about visibility to people who are likely to comment. They're likely to like your post. They're likely to share your post. They may be likely to send a message in or to make a call. By the way, I would use engagement over traffic any day when it comes to Messenger and calls. I would do that 100% hands down if I had to choose between these two. The next are leads. Now, this is far better than engagement when it comes to Messenger and calls, because these are people who are intending to have a conversation. They either fill out an instant form, they message into Messenger or Instagram, or they call you. And there's also a lead conversion in here as well. So this is basically all conversions except for purchase conversion. The next is sale. We're going to skip app. App is pretty self-explanatory. We don't really have many people who are promoting apps. Occasionally we do, but that's pretty self-explanatory. Sales are specifically focused on getting people to purchase directly from your website. And the conversion goal is purchase versus the conversion goal being lead, add to cart, or schedule, right? Which you can do all of those in here. So today we're going to create this to start, and we're going to go here. I'm going to recommend do not use this. Now, if you want to, you can, but you're going to be missing out on a bunch of things that will actually help you properly track your conversions. So we're going to manually set up our lead campaign. And in here you have two options. You can either do campaign budget optimization, which means, or advantage budget, campaign budget. It used to be called campaign budget optimization, which basically just means that your budget starts at the campaign level versus being at the ad set level. And it looks like I haven't actually accepted this, so I obviously gotta click here, click there. So if you get that, you just have to accept the terms, read it. Obviously you should read it. I've read that thing about 100 times at this point, so I don't need to. Now, what we want to do is we want to maximize for the right set of traffic. Now, there are two options here that I primarily use. One is website. Now, this is focused on pixel conversions, right? So we do demo, and then we'd say, oh, I want to do a lead conversion. Now, again, there's no traffic to this yet. I haven't actually sent any traffic to this. To do that, we'll have to go through a couple things, but we haven't done that yet. So option A is a conversion. Now, what this means is that you're going to be sending traffic to a landing page. They're going to be filling out a form on the landing page, not on Facebook. So they're going to be going off of Facebook to your website, to your funnel. They're going to fill out the form there, and then the form is going to send them to the next page. At that point, it doesn't matter. All that we care about is that they filled out that first step of the form. That's what lead means. The next option is add to cart, which is actually, I guess, under conversion now. They changed that under sale, which so we can go back to that later. The next is schedule. So the other that you can do under lead campaigns are schedule, which means that they not just filled out a form, but they also booked an appointment with you. And when that happens, you can send that information back over. Now, this is really, really important. And this is probably one of the most missed things that you could possibly ever miss. Like, do not miss this. under this first section here, you have this option for more. When you're running ads, with a very few exceptions, and I'll explain what those are, you want to change this attribution setting. So the only reason you would want to keep the attribution setting as 7 days versus 1 day is if you're only running one set of ads and you have a very long sales cycle and you're optimizing for that. So let's say I'm optimizing for schedule, but I know people don't schedule until they've consumed the lead magnet, and that usually takes 3 days. Well, then I would say, okay, maybe I want to do 7 days. But what makes way more sense is to optimize for lead, and then we set it to 1 day, and then we create a retargeting campaign that's set for schedule for anybody who opts in but doesn't book that appointment that same day. Then and only then do we and then the same thing, we'd still do 1 day on the retargeting campaign. And this helps eliminate any type of confusion from the system going, where should I attribute this through? The next thing is you want to change this to none. View through means I was scrolling and I stopped for 10 seconds, I think it's 3 seconds actually again here. And it might even say how long it is. The tooltip, here we go. These little tooltips, they can be helpful, or sometimes they can't, sometimes they're not. But basically I scrolled past the ad, and as a result of me scrolling past the ad, if I later come back and click from another ad, and this, especially if this was set to 7 days, or I see another ad, and like this is the normal, right? If I see an ad but I click something else, like the attribution will be all off, and it won't tell you which ad they actually converted through. Now, the benefit of having this longer, this view through and long click through, is you can see kind of the journey where people are starting, and maybe then later it's like, oh, okay, cool. They then came in later and opted in through this. But I still find this to be way, way more effective. All right, so there's that. We're going to select the in there. All right, so training, there we go. Don't care about the budget. The only other thing that I want to share here is we're going to skip this content here. This is all stuff that you should be doing. By the way, I recommend turning this off. Anything that's turned on by default by Facebook is just a way to get you to waste money, basically. All right, so then we're going to build out this URL parameter. I will be right back with that. All right, so I just have this saved in, I literally just copy it from my previous ads every time at this point, but I'm going to show you how to build this. So under campaign source, it's FB_ad, all lowercase, and then this adset.name. Now these are like fill in the blanks that you can actually find. So adset.name, right, is right there. Same thing, campaign name right there. Ad.name right here. And then the last one you have to create. So you click this add parameter, and then it's campaign_id, again, all lowercase. Make sure it's all lowercase. And then you add in the campaign.id. Now you can add in other things. So like we will add in ref, and then so like one of the things that we do with our team now, we have them put like a code in here for us to know basically who created the ad, so that way we can attribute commissions, bonuses, awards, things like that to our team. So I would do HM and then dash and then the date, so 24, which is 2024, and this is 03 and 28, right? So that's the date. And then I might put in some additional information. If I had something like we're running a specific campaign, so like demo campaign 1, demo-C1, and this is now in here, and I can see this when we're running the ads. Now, this is a much more advanced thing. You don't have to do this. And this, by the way, ref, it doesn't have to be ref. It can be literally anything you want it to be. And if you wanted it to be a hidden field on your form, you could do that. So you can actually capture the data on the contact and run reports that way. So there are a ton of ways that you can leverage this, right? We hit apply, and that's it. So really just want to make sure that you have all of this in here. And when you do that, you will be able to properly attribute your traffic to the leads to the traffic that you have. And it makes it so much easier because now you can look at, what's working, what's not, and go from there. If you got any questions on this, let me know. And until then, have a blessed day.